Disturbing new allegations against a Motown legend. I want to show you a live look at a press conference with the accusers and their attorneys. It's happening as we speak in California. In a lawsuit filed today against Smokey Robinson, the women who used to work for him say he sexually assaulted them and created a hostile work environment, among other things. Robinson's wife is also named in the lawsuit. It details multiple allegations, some as recent as last year. One employee says Robinson sexually assaulted her at least 23 times. 3 of the women say they didn't want to report it to police, in part because they were afraid of risking the possible adverse effect on their immigration statuses, according to the suit. Another says Robinson's, quote, brutal sexual advances were constant and even predictable while she worked for him. His accusers are seeking at least $50 million. NBC News has reached out to Robinson's reps for comment. No word back yet. Camila Bernal is joining us now. And obviously, Camila, this is a late-breaking situation. What else do we know? What else are we learning?
Hallie, these are some serious allegations, and the attorneys just now calling Smokey Robinson a serial rapist that needs to be stopped. So again, we have not heard from Smokey Robinson, but these allegations include sexual assault, battery, false imprisonment, you name it. I mean, here is what they're saying. They're saying that these allegations happened repeatedly. You mentioned one of the women saying it happened at least 23 times. The attorneys and the lawsuit saying that you could see a pattern in these allegations. All of them were either housekeepers or house staff, and some of them even working together at the same time. The oldest of these cases going back to 2006, employment in that year, and you mentioned the latest happening just last year. These women saying that they were forced to resign because of the repeated sexual assault that they went through. And you mentioned some of them saying that they were worried about their immigration status. Their attorneys also saying they were worried because they lived paycheck to paycheck. They needed that money and were afraid of losing their livelihoods. They were also afraid, essentially, of the status and the influence that Smokey Robinson had, and were afraid of essentially speaking out. Some of these things, obviously not something I can detail on TV, but some serious allegations.
Hi, you guys. So I just wanted to come on and touch on the Smokey Robinson situation really quick. Now, this was one of the first stories to come out this morning on this situation that I have here in the video. I think since then Smokey have issued, well, they said he said 3 words, and that it was just absurd, right? The whole situation is absurd. Yeah, because I need people to understand we're talking about an 80-something-year-old man, and even 10 years ago, he was 70-something. And 20, he was 60-something, right? And they were covering their faces, but they still seem to look younger than him and his wife, because his wife is 73 now. I don't really get why they're doing this, and there's a lot of questions. I'm sure everybody have their own questions. Dr. Umar was just talking about Shannon Sharp, and I guess maybe he knows something we don't know, child, because he was just saying he felt like black men are under attack, and it's possible. Maybe people are upset because of the way they voted, or think they voted, so now they're going to do all this stuff. But see, this is why people over the years have been telling them that don't make yourself an easy target, right? But they don't listen, and it is what it is. A hard head make a soft behind, like the old folks used to say. So this is just a part of it. I don't believe this story, and normally I wouldn't even say this, but I just don't. It's a few things that's standing out to me. Allegedly, something happened to somebody last year, which he would have been 83. And y'all can let the age thing marinate, okay? Where I'm going with that. And he may be able to clear that very easily. But do you guys agree with Dr. Umar? Do you think black men are under attack for whatever reason? Let me know in the comments, because I think this is silly that they couldn't call the police in California. You understand the fact that you guys were working, all of y'all was working in California, undocumented in the first place, says with a celebrity, somebody that you're asking $50 million from. So just imagine the things in his home, and and all of that, right? So I don't believe that, and that's a whole nother conversation why he was hiring these people anyway. It is what it is, and he probably is going to say that he went through an agency like a lot of people do, and these agencies tend to hire who they want to hire, and they tend to be ran by their own people, whether they're documented or not. Like I was saying about what they're doing out here in Atlanta. And I'm not just talking about the Latin community. I'm talking about all of that. Everybody that's stepping over here, getting into that hospitality field. And so what happens with black people is that they just do anything and then they get caught up, But we'll see how this works out for him, because I don't think this is going to go far. I was tickled by the look of the lawyers as well, but that don't mean that they are that they're FBA, right? They could still be of color, from wherever doing that. I've never heard of anyone talk about Smokey being aggressive, so I just find it hard to believe for this man to have been around for this long, and he would wait till he get into his 70s and 80s to start harming women, right? Now, as far as him moving around all of those guys, all of these celebrities, that's what they do. That's their culture, to move around. And all these women that go to them know that these guys are going to move around like that. Okay, I think that's what Carrie Hill said when she was in her interview recently with Cam Newton. This is what she was talking about with the athletes. And it's the same thing they go with everyone that's in that industry, right? At this point, it's a culture. However, whatever they're doing, they shouldn't come out here running their mouth about it. And I think a lot of us have been saying that for a long time. And these blogs and stuff are not owned by FBA people. That's another part of the conversation, and just because somebody, all skin folk is not kin folk, and I think they set out to make you guys look a certain way, and we've had that conversation as well. I've had that conversation about old girl behind Love and Hip Hop, right? The guy behind Zeus. They're using the word black and all this stuff to give off negativity, because it's on our culture. You see, it's being placed on Black America, even though a lot of people on these shows are not us. They're not FBA, right? You can barely find an FBA musician, an FBA artist, an FBA executive, an FBA actor anymore. You see, we're just using this word black, and we're letting people hoodwink us with that. And so they use all these negative tones with these blogs, putting all this stuff out, having people out here running their mouth about stuff they shouldn't be out here running their mouth, setting themselves up. And we've tried to warn you guys over and over and over and over again. You ain't gotta listen to me. You ain't gotta listen to nothing I say or nothing nobody else say out here. You can do whatever it is you want to do, but that's on you. That man is 80-something years old. His wife is 70-something years old. Like, obviously they got all these millions to give away, so it is what it is. But when this group come, how many more are gonna come? You see? And that's what I was waiting on with the Shannon Sharp situation, because now that they got the one situation out here, several other people that have dealt with him could come out here saying the same stuff. Right? Because he like him young. He's dating his wage. You understand? And so people set themselves up with all of this stuff. Instead of trying to flex, just keep that stuff to yourself and live your life. But child, let me know what y'all think about this whole situation. And do you agree with Dr. Umar? Do you think black men are under attack? And I'll see you guys in the next video.